morning, and welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam. I am increasingly tired as we go along here. So, let's talk about the new show from, what's it called? From HBO Max. I have a cold. I don't know if that's obvious in my voice. But, I do have a cold. I am very congested. And it's unseasonably warm for, early August, or early November, where it's like 75 degrees. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? The Weather Channel has it at, the Weather Channel app isn't actually on my phone, so I can't see what the actual outside temperature is. But in my car, it's picking up 70 degrees. And I'm like, it's definitely warmer than that. So, anyway, here we are, slowly frying to death in November in New York, because life is hell, and we don't care. So, so here we are, and I watched Titans, and admittedly, I had watched season 1, and then didn't watch season 2 or 3, and then, rather than catching up, I was like, I could probably just jump right into this, and not be missing too much, and it turns out I was right. There wasn't and I think that part of that comes from, I think this is the best recap I've ever seen on a TV show. I feel like the recap does a lot of great work in making sure the viewer is up to speed on what's going on in the show before you even get to a point of being like, now hold the fuck on, what's going on? It kind of takes you through the entirety of the first 3 seasons. I think part of it is much like Pennyworth, now that it's under the HBO Max umbrella, they kind of want to set it up for as much success as possible. So, unlike Pennyworth, which appears to be doing this thing where it's like, okay, so, let's kind of just continue with our head up our own ass kind of thing. This show is doing what's it called? This show is doing, onboarding you. You get a moment where you're like, okay, so what's going on here? Who are the major players, and how does this all work? What's happened in the last 3 years that has it where the show is still on the air, and people are still watching this show every week? And it is it's a great primer for those like me who have seen the first season, or has seen anything and then fallen off. Sorry, I'm distracted by trying to keep myself from being gross. Alright, motherfucker. So here we are, and I think that this season is doing a lot of good work. I think that, and again, spoilers abound here. There we go. And I think that it's doing a lot to kind of give an interesting kind of what's the one for here? Give you something to latch onto as a viewer, something that could be interesting and unique compared to other DC things, taking what you know about DC and turning it on its head. I think the way that they're handling Lex is particularly interesting, because a lot of the times when we think of Lex Luthor, we think of what's it called? What's the one for here? He is the man with all the answers, the man in charge. We see that a lot in this first episode, but then by the time we get to the end and he is killed off by something occult, I think that dealing in the occult for DC has always been something where especially on DC TV, as you get more and more into the occult, the less well done the show has become. I'm looking specifically at season 4 of Arrow, which went into Damian Dark, and all of that. And this show is working better than that. This show feels like, and this is the best praise I can give it, it feels like a more adult version of a CW show. Because they curse, and there's blood, and it's like, okay, well, whatever, but, if you like this but can't stand the CW stuff, it's just, I hate this whole conversation around something being more mature, and it's like, so what, so someone's cursing, and that doesn't make it more mature. It's like, you can do a more mature storyline, and have it be without cursing, or without cursing, and without, blood, or gore, or, excessive violence, or anything like that. You can do that. I'm not saying that Daredevil would have been better if you cut down on the excessive violence and the blood and all of that, but that doesn't necessarily make it more mature. Being more mature for that reason doesn't necessarily make it better. But I think that this is, it feels like I'm watching any number of other CW shows. It feels like Arrow. It feels like, what's it called? It feels like The Flash. It feels like, well, specifically Arrow, because or Batwoman, where it's not that grounded kind of approach, where it's like, yeah, they're dealing with crazy mystical stuff, but at the same time, it's like, it doesn't need to be quite so, what's one looking for here? Like, it is, it is still different enough where it is, because you got all the Titans in it. What else? I think that the tying of Raven to it directly, I think, is a good approach, considering her ties to the occult already. And I think the thing is, too, is, like, I watched this, and I watched, like, especially before the first episode, they do, like, a little coming attraction for Doom Patrol Season 4, or the next season. Is it Season 4 of Doom Patrol 2, or is it Season 3 of Doom Patrol? Either way, whatever the next season of Doom Patrol is that starts next month, they do a little coming attraction of that, too. And I'm like, oh, okay, so, that's cool, too. And it's so funny because, like, Cyborg says booyah in that, and I remember that being a major point of contention in Justice League, and I'm like, oh no! Is Doom Patrol racist now? It's like, no, it's not. It's just fucking calm down. So, yeah, I think that this is one of the stronger DC TV shows. And I think that what this show does very well with this Season 4 premiere is make me want to go back and watch the seasons that I haven't watched yet. While it does stand alone, it makes me want to go back and watch it. Like, that opening with the characters and they're all out going bowling, like, it's tremendous. Like, it's great, because it's like, look, we're getting to see, like, this team that's kind of, like, disjointed and different and all of that. It's like, we're getting to see them kind of together and kind of as friends, and I think that that's, always something that's kind of entertaining to watch. It's like, not just the moments where they are in the suits as heroes, but also the moments where they are just people. Like, what was that? It was a Stan Lee quote, where it's like, when we talk about superhumans, the human is just as important as the super, and I think that, like, when we look at a lot of these things, they don't, they don't take that into consideration, where it's like, it's Superman, his powers are most important, the rest of it can go to hell, but the more human and grounded aspects of the characters are just as important as the other things. The ending where Connor Kent is accused of murder is pretty interesting, and then him being in jail with where Corey and Dick go out and talk to him. It's great. The interrogation that reveals that the fact that they reveal that he didn't do it and he gets out of jail that quickly is kind of not just it kind of feels like a little bit of a waste. It feels like a way to take him off the table for that episode, but at the same time, it's like, well, I don't think it was really necessary, if we're being honest, for him to have been taken off the table the way he was. I think there was a way to do that episode without him in that role and still move on from there. What else was there? It's just really fun all around, this show. Like, and the thing is, too, for a show with subject matter as dark as this, whereas, like, we are dealing heavily in the occult, we're dealing heavily with people who are, people who are dealing in demons and stuff like that, And that's kind of where we are. And for it to do that, and for it to come off as fun as this show is, that's an achievement in and of itself. I mean, it is, like, it's not a small feat to be able to do that. It is an interesting and important thing for them to be able to do. And I think that they're doing it pretty well. Where it's like you still get those serious moments, but it's also not entirely serious moments. There are moments of levity in it too, where it's like, look, we also have these serious, we also have, moments where these characters are just friends. I did really like them going to Star Labs. That was a really cool moment. Them exploring the newfound powers that Kory has, Starfire has, is a pretty fun expansion of the world. And them going to Metropolis is a great thing for them to do. I'm very much on board with a lot of the decisions they're making this season, and I want to give them a lot of leeway going into it. That said, I'm not 100% going to give them all of the leeway all of the time. Let's see how this plays out. Let's see how this really, goes from here. But for right now, they're doing a great job. And I think that they're doing it very, very, oh my god, what an asshole. I don't understand. If you get an electric car, and this is a Tesla, apparently it also applies for Chevy Bolt, but it was also, Tesla's where you see it mostly. Like, do you have to get a vanity license plate, or just to say that you have an electric car? Because it seems like that's the case, where it's like if you get an electric car, you have to get an asshole-ish vanity license plate to go with it. I just don't understand it. Like, just get your car. Your car makes a statement on its own. You don't have to have the vanity plate with it. Anyway, what else was there that I wanted to address with this? I think we really got everything. I don't think there's anything else that I'm really missing here. I hope they expand the cast a little bit, and they add in more side characters. That's always something that even on the CW shows and on this show and on Doom Patrol I've always liked, is that they always go into, like, Aqualad was on at one point. They had Jason Todd and Red Hood eventually. And I really like the idea of them doing all of that. But hopefully they do it a little more. I would like to see, some more things like that. Especially if we're getting into the occult, maybe bring in, someone who's a little bit faster. Maybe Wally West could be helpful in a situation like this. Who knows? But it would be cool. I'm totally on board for that. Who knows if that's gonna happen? But yeah, I think we have we've covered enough about Titans. That could also just be my splitting headache talking. I do have a splitting headache because I have not taken anything for it yet, and I'm on my way to work. But yeah, what else do I have? I think that's really it. Yeah, so what else do we have this week? I might do My Policeman. I don't know. I don't really want to give too much to Harry Styles. I don't think that, I think he's gotten enough press on his own, and I think that the issue is, I don't know, it's like, he just comes off like an asshole. But My Policeman did come out last weekend. I didn't watch it yet. I will upload that. I did a review of, what's it called? What was the name of the movie? Or the book? The World We Make. I did a review of that. It's currently sitting on my phone because I recorded it 2 days ago and forgot to update it like an upload it like an asshole. So yeah. So what else have we got that's going on here? This guy is riding my ass. Black Panther on Friday because I couldn't get into a Thursday screening, so that's fun. So I'm gonna go Friday to Black Panther. other thing that I'm forgetting? I don't know. I mean, obviously the continuation of Andor as we get into the home stretch of this show. There's like 3 episodes left, I think. We just saw episode 9, so 10, 11, 12. And 10 is on Wednesday. And there was another movie. I'm still going to do All Quiet on the Western Front, I think, at some point. But it's just, it's in German. Not that's necessarily a bad thing. But the issue is, if the movie's in German, I have to sit and watch it the entire way through, which I realize sounds like a first world problem, but I don't speak German, and when I watch other things that are in English, I can just kind of do other things while I'm watching the movie. If I'm watching a movie in a language that I don't speak, I have to watch it. Like, I have to sit down and watch it. I still want to finish Strange New Worlds, but I didn't do that for a podcast. That was just for my own edification. Yeah, so maybe tonight we'll watch. Tonight we'll watch The Peripheral because we're behind on The Peripheral, and they're episodes 3 and 4 are up, and I can do those and then do that tomorrow morning. And I think this afternoon on 30-minute reviews, we're going to have a rewatch show of Black Panther in advance of the release of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever this weekend, which is going to do a lot of money at the box office. So I did watch that, and I have some thoughts and some hot takes that might not be well received. So we'll talk about that this afternoon. So we'll wrap up there for today, and we'll be back with more stuff later this week. So until then, have a great rest of your week.